Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program. No decision yet on the disqualification cases against Bongbong Marcos as Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon'S retires today. As the Commission's two divisions undergo a major reshuffle, how will this affect the pending cases against candidates? And the Philippine Bar Association says the public has a right to question the delay in resolving Marcos's disqualification cases. Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon'S and Philippine Bar Association Assistant Corporate Secretary Arnel Valeña joins us live. Major changes at the Commission on Elections today, with 3 of its 7 commissioners retiring. The vacancies left by Commissioners Rowena Guanzon'S, Antonio Co, and Chairman Sharif Abbas also mean a major reshuffling in Comelec's 2 divisions. But how will these changes affect the decision on the disqualification cases against candidates like Bongbong Marcos? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have retiring Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon'S. Commissioner, welcome to the source. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Good morning, Pinky. Good morning.
So you are retiring today. How does it feel na tinatawag na kayong retiring Commissioner Rowena Guanzon'S?
Well, I'm retiring today, but I'm not tired. But what this means really is that the first division tomorrow will be headed by Commissioner Tomorrow. Commissioner will move to the first division. This means that Commissioner Rito has deprived both myself and Commissioner Casero of our right to vote in the Marcos disqualification cases by hijacking the Women's Election with unreasonable delay.
Commissioner, pasensya na po. During our test a while ago, you were coming in very clear and now it's garbled, so I couldn't really understand what you were saying. We need to fix this, Commissioner, so that I can understand you better. Can we try again? I said that you were retiring today, and ano ho ba ang pakiramdam na last day nyo na ngayon? Hindi ko po kayo narinig kanina, pasensya na po.
I retired today.
There's better.
So, will be the first division. And so, by hijacking resolution.
All right, we're going to have to take a break, Commissioner. Again, apologies. We're not hearing you very well. Sayang po yung interview. We'll take a very short break. We'll try to fix this. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest, Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon'S. Commissioner, you were saying that you were retiring today and
so Senior Commissioner Socorro Inting, former Justice of the Court of Appeals, will take over as the presiding of the first division. Commissioner Casquejo will move to the second division. That's why I'm saying that Feralino, by taking the Ponencia resolution hostage, has deprived me and Commissioner Casquejo of our right to vote in the Marcos disqualification cases. So once Senior Commissioner Inting takes over the first division, I expect this case will be re-raffled.
Would that allow, or will the decision be held in abeyance because of the changes in the first and second division members? Ganun mo ba yun?
No, because this is they have 2 commissioners each, so they can resolve the cases. In case there's a tie, the acting chair which will probably be Senior Commissioner Inting on February 3, will assign a third member to the division. So in case there's a tie of Ferolino and Commissioner, let's say Commissioner Inting and Ferolino have a tie, then the acting chair can assign a third member, probably Commissioner Bulay or Commissioner Casquejo. I really believe there's grand design to delay the Marcos disqualification cases so that I cannot, my vote will not be counted to DQ Bongbong Marcos. And so that
Commissioner, I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Ayun, you're back. So balikan ko lang po yung sinabi nyo. Because of your retirement together with the other two commissioners, magkakaroon po ng changes dun sa first and second division. The Comelec obviously only having two divisions, the first and second division. Am I right in saying that the first division has to have the members that are the more senior ones? Ganun ho ba yun?
Yes, the senior commissioner is always the presiding commissioner of the first division. That will be senior commissioner.
You mentioned a while ago, Commissioner, that because of Commissioner Ferolino taking hostage the decision, nawala po yung inyong boto. Your vote and Commissioner Casquejo's vote will basically be null and void. Ano po? Would you have any idea on where Commissioner Casquejo's decision would have gone?
I have no idea. But on January 25, he agreed to try to contact Commissioner Ferolino to no avail because he was willing to accept the ponencia if she was willing to waive it. But unfortunately, again, she was not replying anymore to our texts and calls. That's why it was Chairman Abbas whom I asked for help in an executive session to call her up. Well, instead of releasing her decision, she issued a memorandum for Chair Abbas. So I sent her a memorandum to explain her delay so that it will be in the record. She keeps on saying about the same things, that she cannot write it in 15 days. How many days do you need to write a resolution that has only 15-page answer? And all the facts are admitted anyway that Marcos was convicted for 4 counts of a crime involving moral turpitude. And the lawyer also admitted they did not pay the fine in the regional trial court. So he's still convicted there. He still has a pending case there because he did not pay the fine. He still has a pending case in the regional trial court.
In fact, in the many interviews you've given, I heard you say one time that convict siya.
He is a convict. He's a convict. And his case is still pending. So the people have to know that. I mean, yun nga nagnakaw ng 10 mangga kinulong nila. Ito, hindi nila kinulong, pinamulta lang. And yet, he did not even pay the fine. That is admitted. So how many days does Ferolino need to decide the case as well? The facts are already admitted. All you need is to weigh the evidence using the substantial evidence rule. By golly, ni freshman college of law student in.
And I want to make that clear because basically, Commissioner, you were saying that this is not guilt beyond reasonable doubt for the Commission on Elections commissioners to decide on.
No, this is not a criminal case. This is a disqualification case. And the standard of evidence here is only substantial evidence rule. Yung bang more than one lang? Kung once lang siguro siya hindi nag-file ng ITR niya, baka I'll change my mind. 4 times, gobernador pa siya. Ibig sabihin, he received a salary from the government but did not pay the government what he owes them. Sabi sa Biblia, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's.
So here's the thing, Commissioner, throughout the couple of days, maybe a week or so, you've been urging Commissioner Ferolino to come up with her draft resolution. So here's the thing, your vote will not be counted, but the public already knows your decision on the case, which is to disqualify BBM, saying he's guilty of moral turpitude, not filing his ITR 82, 83, 84, 85. But how do you see this whole controversy now playing out that you are retiring?
Well, the people have a right to demand. That's why I'm trending on Twitter for the last 3 days, and the Philippine Bar Association, the IBP of Makati, the UP Women Lawyer Circle have already issued a statement saying that this is already affecting the integrity of our elections. If the Comelec cannot even in an orderly manner, in a judicious manner, resolve disqualification cases, how can it even run elections properly? That's why I asked my colleagues that this already has a negative impact on the integrity of our institution. This is not just a matter between Feralino and myself and Commissioner Casquejo, because the NBank has also jurisdiction in the motion for reconsideration. So I'm telling everybody, it is in the nation's interest that these cases go up to the Supreme Court as soon as possible. Why is Feralino holding it back? Because there is a grand design to delay it. Because they already probably know that he's going to be disqualified given the evidence. So they want to delay it so that he can win, and then hopefully he will sit. And then even if the Supreme Court will disqualify him, a year after the elections, they'll hope to delay it, he can still sit. While he's sitting there, even just for a month, there's so many things that can happen. Sequestration cases, is it not? Sequestration cases. Imagine he's the president of the country, the PCGG will be under him. But, this is just a grand design. Na ibubulldozer na lang tayo ang eleksyon kahit disqualified siya, ituloy yan para makaupo siya kahit 1 buwan lang dyan, 3 buwan, i-delay natin yung Supreme Court para 1 taon. They know that he is disqualified. Yeah. And we lawyer know the substantial evidence tool.
Yeah, so actually you answered something I wanted to go to, Commissioner Guanzon, because you were basically saying in your past interviews, this is good for Marcos and this is good for the nation's interest, both to be able to have a resolution on this disqualification case, a decision by the Supreme Court. And you went on his qualification or disqualification to be president, but you went to something that is probably in the minds of people. No, sabihin po natin that hypothetically pending pa rin po yung kaso, BBM wins as president and he is proclaimed, and for the sake of argument, the Supreme Court disqualifies him. What happens?
The elected vice president will sit. If he has already taken his oath, he will still be removed, and the elected vice president will sit. So if it is Mayor Sara or SP Soto, either one of them will sit.
I was reading, of course, pinilikan ko po yung Constitution. I hope you don't mind, no? Yung papaano yung vice president, ascension of the vice president to the presidency. Hindi ho ba it's death, permanent?
Succession rule
Opo.
Succession rule Kasi he has already assumed office, succession rule. Ayun, kung hindi naman siya naka-assume, if this is disqualified before the elections, yun nga sinasabi ko sa mga Marcos loyalists. Kasi may friends din ako Marcos loyalists, no? Dami ko kaya friends. Classmate ko pa nga si Amy.
Opo.
Sinasabi ko sa kanila, in public. It's better if he's disqualified, that he should be disqualified before the election so his wife can substitute and your voters will not be confused. Kasi they voted for him and then pala he is disqualified, hindi pala siya uupo. So they'll be frustrated.
With all
yung ng vote ng mga Marcos loyalists.
Opo. And what would be the motivation of this particular senator to want to delay the decision of the First Division? I have just a few things in mind. Is it because they wanted a unanimous decision? Did they want a unanimous decision? Did they want your vote just to be excluded? Or did this senator just basically want a delay?
Well, both. Because that is the result now. Not only my vote, but Commissioner Casquejo can no longer vote. That's why I'm saying it's a grand design. Obviously, the senator is for Bongbong Marcos. I mean, I don't know why they interfere when President Duterte said, do not interfere. You heard Sal Panelo. He said, magagalit yung presidente pag nalaman niya, ginagamit yung pangalan niya. Sinasabi, malapit niya. Hindi naman ganyan. Mayor Duterte, ay kami ng mayor.
Yeah.
Kakakilala sa kanya, di ba? Ayaw niya nakikialam. Sinasabi nga niya, di ba, sabi ni Sal Panelo, mabuti na yan, mahusgahan na yan ng Supreme Court agad. Ano pa bang delay nyo pa dyan? Baka may iba pa kayong rason dyan. Hindi ko alam. How many reasons ba do you need to be convinced? Nailabas na yan ni Paralino since up to midnight tonight. In the management committee meeting yesterday, to the credit of Chair Abbas, because I said, Chair Abbas, please call her up because she's not answering our calls. To the credit of Chair Abbas, in the management committee meeting yesterday, which Paralino attended, he asked her, bakit ba hindi na lang yan ilabas? Oh, because he already feels the pressure also as head of that his leadership, position is also, being called upon. Bakit hindi mo na lang yan ilabas? Oh, wala naman sa kahit doon sa management committee meeting in front of all the regional directors. Wala pa rin siyang sinasabing, sige, chairman, ilabas ko na ito bukas. Oh, wala naman eh. Ibig sabihin talagang ayaw niya ilabas. Yung tanong ko nga kay Commissioner Peralino, bakit ba ayaw mo talaga ilabas? Ano gagawin mo dyan? Gagawin mo bagoong yan? The people are already taking to the streets. There's already protest in front of Comelec. May mga rosary brigade na. May mga... Anong gagawin mo dyan? It's so unreasonable eh. You claim a victory by just delaying it for one month, but my separate opinion is already out, so I claim victory.
Yeah. What do you say, though, Commissioner Guanzon, to Commissioner Ferolina, saying that she needs to study the case, and when we look at the decision of the second division, it took them a month.
Wait a minute. They took them a month, but they released it. You see, they released it when I told Commissioner Enting and I were just, informally talking. I said, we might release ours on the 17th. We might. But we're still complying with the 15-day rule. The ponente should comply with the 15-day rule. Kahit na sabihin niya, hindi niya kaya sa 7 days, mabagal utak niya. 15 days rule ilang days na ngayon siya, 25 na. But why are you comparing yourself to Commissioner Inte? Ang layo naman nun. And this is a disqualification case. That is a cancellation case. Iba
of the
yun.
certificate of candidacy.
Kaya procedural yun eh. Procedural ang problema doon, kaya na-dismiss eh. Oh.
Before we go on a break, I just have just a follow-up question on that. With everything that you revealed in the past couple of days, were you hoping, Commissioner Guanzon, that Commissioner Ferolino would have released the draft resolution prior to your retirement? Kayo ba umasa pa talaga na ilalabas niya?
Konting lang. Let's say 10% umasa ako na for the sake of Comelec naman, gawin yan. Tsaka nagman-com pa kahapon eh. Umasa ako na this morning, ganyan. Hindi. Instead, anong ginawa niya? Reverse her vote in one case. Ito, anong ginawa niya? Instead na sumulat siya ng ponensya, ilabas niya, she reversed her vote in one very important case that will allow one congressman to run. At first she voted this way and then she voted another way. Ano ba talaga, ha? Ano ba talaga, Commissioner Peralino?
Commissioner Guanzon?
You can change your vote in one case, but you cannot release a ponensya. My golly, I already signed the certification to promulgate that resolution, and then she changes her votes last minute. Why?
Okay. Commissioner Guanzon, we just need to take a very short break. The source will be right back. Our guest today, Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. Commissioner, I want to go back to what you said earlier with regards to the I want to go back to what you said earlier with regards to the composition of the first and second division. So Ferolino stays, Commissioner Inting moves to the first division, Quejo from the first division moves to the second division. My question is, with these changes and with the first division, changes in the first division, is this back to square one in terms of the disqualification case against BBM? And will it further delay any decision on this?
Well, the presiding commissioner probably has at least two options. One is let it stay with Ferolino, give her a deadline, or re-raffle it. That is really up to Senior Commissioner Inting.
I see. So she has two options on this.
Yeah, but she's former justice of the Court of Appeal. She knows what to do.
Okay. All right. You're confident on that. And then I want to go to the senator because you have been saying that a senator was interfering, etc. And in your last interview, sinabi niyo po, hindi niyo na pangangalanan si senator. Pero sinabi niyo na po kay SP Tito Soto, kay Senate President Tito Soto. What was his reaction when you told him the identity of the senator? Did he know? Nagulat ho ba siya?
He said that we will talk some more about it because he was in a Bible meeting. And then he said he told me to think about it some more. Ako naman po, I will be a private citizen tomorrow, but certainly I will still be a public figure. So kung ipatawag ako ng Senado, sasabihin ko dun kung bakit ko sinabi yun. That I am protected by privileged communication when I am subpoenaed by the Senate. Kasi baka iharas ako niyan eh. Siyempre, senador siya eh, di ba? Ako private practitioner lang by that time. Lawyer lang ako. If the Senate President will call me, I will testify.
Okay. And then you also said yesterday, I believe, before I think it was the FOCAP interview na hindi nyo na nga po papangalanan sa Senado na lang, pero alam na po ng kanyang asawa?
Yun ang nagbabiral eh. Alam na raw ng asawa niya. Kaya natawa na lang ako. Sabi ko, hindi ko na kailangan pangalanan. Basta alam ng tao paano ako bumoto, bakit DQ yan si Marcos Jr. Bakit ba why do you treat him like a prince? Like he's untouchable. Ano ba yan? Hindi man nga siya nag-graduate ng college eh. Bakit untouchable siya? Tapos i-DQ ko siya, galit kayo sa akin. Ba't kayo galit sa akin? Love kaya ako ni First Lady Imelda Marcos, tanungin niyo siya.
Okay. But you were also urging... Commissioner, you were also urging BBM or his camp to deny any involvement in this supposed delay.
Bakit wala siyang deny? Si Bongbong Marcos, hindi siya nagde-deny na wala siyang hand dyan sa mga sinasabi ng Partido Federal against me. Imagine. Paano ako maniwala na hindi siya sangkot dyan? Tawagin ba naman nila ako narcissistic? Genius po ako, genius. I tread the thin line between genius and insanity. Yan paganda sabihin.
Commissioner, marami pong nagtatanong, what's next for you after your retirement? What are your plans?
Well, I hope that God will bless my plans. Every night I pray to God. I pray for mercy for the Filipino people. We even prayed for Commissioner Ferolino there in church that she will be converted. So talagang God works but the devil also works. Anyway, I was shortlisted for Deputy Ombudsman for the Visayas. And there are three of us. One from Davao, one is director in the office, in the Ombudsman here in Manila. Well, it's up to the President if he will appoint me or not. But I'm a no-nonsense public servant and professor of law. So I will serve. Pwede pa naman my brain is still very active. I'm still writing another book on election law. My book on local government code is in the UP Press.
Opo. But so what about politics? Is that something that you could possibly reconsider?
Yeah, maybe 2025. As you know, my family, the Valeña Guanzon'S, are in local politics in Negros Occidental. So, and our allies there are solidly behind me. So 2025, let's see. But 3 years is a short time, you know. Igsin yan, bilis yan. It will go very fast. For someone as busy as me.
Opo. But yung retirement niyo po, what will happen today? Is there going to be a ceremony on your retirement and 2 others as well?
It's a formal ceremony. It will be an in-bank session. So I don't know if Commissioner Peralino will be there. But it's in my honor and Commissioner Ko and Chair Abbas. Then I am the commissioner in charge of overseas voting. So we are also giving a appreciation dinner for the FA. What do you call this? Tomorrow. And, well, it's invitation only. But, of course, the commissioners will also be there. They are all invited by the committee.
Opo. So, you're leaving, you're retiring. Siguro, Commissioner Guanzon, a message, if you have any, because wala na po, your vote is not counted. A message to, just 2 things, a message to Commissioner Perolino or the Comelec as a whole, and a message to the Filipino people.
My message to the Comelec is, all the commissioners and all the future commissioners, I hope that you will take it to heart that public office is a public trust. You are not there on your own. You are there to represent an institution that is supposed to be the guardian of democracy in our country. And if you commit acts that will just create doubts on the institution of the commission, then you are not doing the Comelec a favor. You should consider that you are not there as your own person, but because you are occupying a position of public trust. And a public office is a public trust. And to everyone else, especially my colleagues in the University of the Philippines and my sorority sisters, the Integrated Bar and Philippine Bar Association, the UP Women Lawyers Circle, and all of those who supported me in hashtag I Stand with Guanzon. I'd like to thank you for your prayers and support, the nuns, the priests, my pastors. I retire today at midnight with a glass of wine in my hand and a Bible on my left. I wish to tell you that it is with much pride that I retire with honor and excellence, true to the traditions of the University of the Philippines and the principles of my family and my parents. Excellence, integrity, honor, justice.
Okay.
I hope those that have watched me in the last few days, especially the young people, will be inspired to enter government service and always stand for what is right. Thank you, Pinky.
Cheers. Cheers to your retirement, Commissioner Rowena Guanzon. Thank you. And we have to say goodbye for now on television. We still have an interview with the Philippine Bar Association. We're going to air that live on our Facebook page. Thank you for watching The Source. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Philippine Bar Association Assistant Corporate Secretary Arnel Valeña. Attorney Valeña, welcome to The Source, and also thank you so much for your time. Can you hear me? Attorney Valeña? Oh, okay. So we're having a problem with the connection with Attorney Valeña. Yeah. Okay. So it's also good to find out. We were supposed to guest Attorney Valeña together with Commissioner Guanzon, but our interview with Commissioner Guanzon took longer than we had anticipated. So we are airing Attorney Valeña and the PBA, the Philippine Bar Association side on this whole rather controversy regarding the disqualification case against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. The PBA had issued already a statement on this, urging the Commission on Elections to come up to come up with a decision already. I think he is back on the line or on air. Attorney Valeña, can you hear me? Attorney, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ms. Pinky.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
We lost you there for a while. Nag-freeze ho ata kayo. So I was saying that there was already a statement issued by the PBA, the Philippine Bar Association, regarding this controversy on the disqualification case against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. So here's the thing, Attorney. In spite of the urging of Commissioner Guanzon, there is still no decision by the First Division. Commissioner Guanzon is retiring today. It's her last day. What now? What happens next? Attorney, can you hear me?
Yes. Well, that is a very unfortunate omission on the part of the Comelec. You know, this was their procedure, this was their timeline, that they were supposed to release a resolution on the cases within a certain period of time, 10 days in this case, or 15 days as the case may be, but they didn't follow it. So it's very unfortunate that happened. And now the vote of Commissioner Guanzon will no longer be counted.
But that agreement is supposed to be an internal agreement. In other words, the ponente, Commissioner Ferulino, is not really mandated, I guess would be the word, to be able to release her draft resolution on this. Because rather, Commissioner Ferulino was saying she needs time to really study this. Wouldn't that have some sort of maybe value to what could be perceived by some as a delay in the release of her draft resolution? Ibig sabihin, in her defense, she said kailangan niya pong pag-aralan. Katanggap-tanggap ho ba yun?
Well, of course, all adjudicators need to study their cases carefully. But these are still within the timelines provided by law and by agreement. If there's an agreement among the division that a certain resolution will be released by a certain time, then they have to abide by that. And additionally, this is of paramount importance because we're speaking here of a presidential candidate. You know, it's a matter of national interest.
Okay. When I was, I'm not sure if you caught my interview with Commissioner Guanzon, and she was saying that it's to the best interest of the nation and even presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos that his case be decided on so that eventually this will be questioned or brought up before the Supreme Court. And then there, were a couple of scenarios na posibleng manalo si BBM and then eventually he can be disqualified by the Supreme Court, and then whoever wins as vice president in line of succession becomes president. Is this something that you guys, is this a theory you guys are even looking into? Okay, I'm not hearing Attorney Valeña. I'm wondering if the studio can hear him.
Can you please repeat the question?
Attorney, again, we are having problems now with our connection. Napag-usapan po namin ni Commissioner Guanzon kanina. She was basically saying that it's to the best interest of BBM and the Filipino people that his case be decided on, the disqualification case. Dahil posible daw, whatever happens, for or against him, this will be questioned before the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court will have to decide on this. There was siguro a path that Commissioner Guanzon was talking about na pwede pong i-disqualify just hypothetically, pag manalo po si BBM, he can be disqualified by the Supreme Court. And then, in terms of line of succession, the Vice President will take over after his proclamation, sabihin po natin. Is that something that you guys are, number one, is that a theory you guys are considering? And then number two, what would be the implication of that?
Well, I'm sorry, but that already goes into the merits of the case, their strategies or their endgame scenario. But the point here really is there's no point in delaying it. The public has to know, the voting public has to know, and it's in the interest of both BBM and the petition and the petitioners also that this case be resolved right away. Anyway, for all the parties, for both parties, to be able to avail of the legal remedies available to them. Whether or not this is a strategy, well, that would go already into the merits of the case or the goings on behind the scenes. But what is important, I think, is the rule of law, the procedure has to be followed so that the Comelec will not be accused of any wrongdoing or anomaly in coming up with that resolution.
As a last question, because of the revelations of Commissioner Guanzon, how has this affected the possible credibility or integrity of the Comelec and the decision that may be put forward by the First Division eventually?
Well, definitely, it has substantially affected the image of the Comelec. I'm sorry to say. There's talk about Commissioner Guanzon'S statements being a violation of the sub judice rule. It's a prohibition against making public disclosures of ongoing cases. But if you go into the purpose of the sub judice rule, it's precisely so to protect courts and adjudicators from being influenced by outside forces. In this case, we have there are allegations of outside forces of interference in that judicial process. So I think this has to be addressed so that whatever decision Comelec comes up with will not be accused of as being biased or baseless.
All right. Okay, Attorney Arnel Valeña of the Philippine Bar Association, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too, Ms. Pink.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.